Hey everybody, welcome to the Games Cast. Games Blog is still at Comic-Con. I'm Jennifer, and with me we have Dan. And tonight we are going to talk to you about some of the news that we picked up this Saturday at New York Comic-Con. First off, the first thing we did today that we want to talk about is we had an interview with Hideo Baba, which if you don't know, he worked on the Tales series, and most recently that you may have heard of, we're going to get Tales of Xillia sometime in the near future. Do you want to say anything, Dan, about our interview, other than the fact that Baba-san was absolutely adorable?
Well,
he was just a very happy guy. Like,
yes,
I don't like to apply the word adorable to people under 10, but he just, everything we asked, he answered with a smile, and he was just really excited to be talking to us.
Yeah, the whole interview went great. Really, it was really easy to talk to him, even through the translator. His energy still seemed to come through, no problem, and look forward to a transcript of our interview with him coming in the near future on the website.
Absolutely. And as soon as our interview was over, we headed over to the Kodansha Comics panel. And if you didn't know this, Kodansha is actually behind the more recent release of the Sailor Moon manga. And they spent a good chunk of time talking about it because this year is the 20th anniversary of the series, and so they had some special stuff planned. One of the first things they mentioned was that they're planning to release a 20th anniversary related art book for the series next year in 2013. It's actually going to be a simultaneous release worldwide in 7 different countries all at the same time. And this was an exclusive announcement, they said, so we were the first ones to hear it. That was pretty cool. They said that there's going to be some artwork pulled from previous art books, and also Naoko Takeuchi, who is the mangaka behind the series, is actually going to create some new stuff for this art book as well. And so she also actually left a letter to the attendees of the panel, and we spoke to the representatives that Kodansha had there, and they're going to try to get us a link to the letter sometime, so stay tuned if you want to hear it. But she ended on telling everybody to go and visit the Kodansha booth, or in the name of the moon, she would punish everyone. So that was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to the art book, actually, let's see, what month is that coming out?
I don't have an art month for it.
Oh, we didn't get it. We didn't get a month on the art book.
Sometime next year is all I got.
Sometime next year. But next month, if you can't wait for the art book and just really want to get your hands on some more Sailor Moon stuff, they're planning to release a box set with the first 6 volumes of the manga that have been released so far. I believe they are about to release volume 8, right?
Yes.
That's what they said. Volume 8 is going to come out soon, so if you haven't read the series and you want a chance to catch up, 6 volumes all in one box, November 20th. The price they gave us was $65.94, which apparently is the cost of the 6 books by themselves, but we took a look at Amazon and you can actually pick it up for $40. So why not?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it, probably. Let's see. One other thing, before we segue into some newer stuff, apparently if you're a fan of Fairy Tail, they're planning to start releasing the volumes of that one every month, and starting next March 2013. And they're planning by the end of 2013 to be caught up with the releases in Japan, at least on the digital side. I believe the digital one is going to release even quicker than the print.
Twice a month.
Yes, digital volumes will release twice a month. So if you're a Fairy Tail fan, you've got some stuff to look forward to next year.
Mm-hmm. After that, they moved on to some future releases. The first one they talked about was a series called Number 6. It's a dystopian sci-fi series where people live in computerized cities, and through a series of unfortunate events, the main character loses his status as an elite member of society and ends up working as a gardener for somebody before finding a body somewhere and setting off yet another series of unfortunate events in his life. And that one's coming out in June 2013. After that, they talked about Sankareya, which was subtitled Undying Love in English. It's also coming out in June 2013, and for those who aren't familiar, with the anime. The series is a zombie romantic comedy that follows a guy who's infatuated with the idea of dating a zombie, and so he, at one point, accidentally turns a girl into a zombie, and so their relationship begins. They also talked about Vinland Saga, a story about, quote, Vikings and crossbows and pulling eyes out and carrying boats across mountains, which comes out in October 2013. Tokyo Mew Mew a la Mode, the sequel to the Tokyo Mew Mew series, is hitting shelves in November 2013. It was originally a 2-volume series, but they're making a 2-in-1, so that there's only one book to buy to get the whole series. And they will be starting an Air Gear omnibus in May 2013.
Another thing for any fans of Genshiken, the second season, Volume 1, is out, and Volume 2 is going to be out early next year. Dan, you've actually read it. Can you remind us what it's about?
It's basically kind of a comedy slice of life about a bunch of otaku who are together in a college club that they call the Society for the Study of Visual Culture. Basically, they just watch anime and read manga and play video games and whatnot.
So after Genshiken, they mentioned a story called Missions of Love, which is apparently a slice of life sort of series where there's a girl who is a really great writer and everyone loves her work, but the only complaint they ever have is that she doesn't understand romance. Kind of a stereotypical sort of plot, but she decides that she's going to figure it out by blackmailing the most popular boy in school into basically dating her. So that's how she plans to learn about romance. Did we get a release date? A launch timetable on that?
This November.
This November,
so next
okay.
month.
So next month, if that sort of thing sounds cool to you, then keep an eye out for Missions of Love. Also, they mentioned Battle Angel Alita, The Last Order, is going to come out this December, Volume 16. This is a sci-fi series. They're also planning an omnibus that actually has a lot of new material. So if you're a fan of the series and you maybe haven't picked it up, then this is a great opportunity for you to see some new stuff. Also, there's a series of short stories coming out in one volume. Natsume Ono's 6 short stories compiled in a novel called Danza, I believe it was pronounced.
Danza.
And
for those who aren't familiar, Natsume Ono did Ristorante Paradiso, Gente, and Not Simple.
And that one is supposed to come out in December. Let's see, what's next?
Let's see. After that, they talked about a few series that are ongoing right now. The first was Attack on Titan, which is an action sci-fi about a giant titan attacking this walled city and how all the people in the city react as humanity's kind of cornered and on the verge of destruction. After that, they talked about the last few volumes of Negima, with Volume 36 coming out this October, and the final volume, 38, being scheduled for next April. They also said they have a one-off called Negiho, where they switch roles, and Negima is an adult teacher teaching a class full of kindergartners.
That sounds crazy.
Yes. There's also Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, the manga. Volume 3 is coming out, or has just come out, and they're working on doing 1 to 2 volumes per year for that series. After that, they mentioned that the 3rd Miles Edgeworth manga will be coming out next month, with the 4th coming out sometime next year, and that they were working on continuing omnibus editions, re-releasing the original Genshiken, Love Hina, Negima, and Kitchen Princess, which are all reclaimed titles.
Right.
So after we did the Kodansha panel, I stopped by at the Yen Press panel, and it was a short one, fortunately, because the acoustics were terrible and was constantly being drowned out. But they talked about the manga adaptation of Claudia's story based on Anne Rice's Interview with Vampire, and that they would also be working on an adaptation of her newer work, The Wolf Gift, which is her first foray into werewolf stories.
Oh boy.
Say what you will about that. They also talked about a series called Doubt, which is based around a cell phone game where one person is a wolf and they're trying to kill off the rest of the rabbits. When all of the players meet up together to try and figure out who the wolf is, they end up getting kidnapped and put into a real-life version of the game that they're playing on their cell phones. They also said that they were going to continue with the Puella Magi series, Madoka, and after that they would work on Kazumi Magica and Oriko Magica, and that they've landed a license for the follow-ups to K-On!, the rest of the high school series, and then the college years, both which will be released in 2013. There also is a Soul Eater art book coming out in 2013 with bonus character art in addition to stuff that's been seen in Japan before and some art from the artist's other works. And that next summer there will be a colorized version of volumes 5 through 7 of High School of the Dead coming out. Their last big announcement was that they reached a deal with Square Enix, who's been publishing some of their titles digitally in Japan. They are now the English digital publisher for titles such as Soul Eater, Pandora Heart, and Black Butler, and they have the worldwide right to those titles.
That's a good set. Almost makes me want to try their app out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, moving on a little bit from manga, we're going to talk about our time today at the Pokemon Black White 2 launch event. But we really, I don't know about you, but I didn't go in with expectations. I was just sort of like, it's a Pokemon event, why not?
Yeah, I just kind of was there going, oh, well, you know, I'll stop by, see what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But,
we got there, and the line was long, and when we did finally get in, it was this room that was just black lights and music and a giant balloon Pikachu just sort of chilling up by the ceiling. We had a chance to try out the game, which, I mean, we played it on the different 3DSs than our own, but we got little tokens for running around and doing certain events, got to pick up some swag, and we also had a chance to try out the Pokedex 3D, which launches this November.
Well, the 3D Pro.
Oh, 3D Pro, sorry.
Yeah, which has like a built-in quiz game and is a lot more user-friendly than the original Pokedex 3D, which the only downside to it is that it's going to run $15 when it finally comes out.
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like daily trivia challenges based on your Pokedex information that you may or may not have memorized, it could be awesome. Mm-hmm. They also keep the usual movies of the Pokemon. They showed in the other one. I think they actually had a different background than I remember ever seeing. So maybe there's a bigger selection for what you can view your Pokemon on. Just it was really neat, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know if I would be willing to pay $15 for it.
Probably
but
not.
If you are, then cool.
Yeah. We also got a little bit of hands-on with one other game today after the Pokemon event. We played a little bit of Rayman Legends on the Wii U, and Jen and I did a tag team with one of us playing Rayman and the other one playing Murphy.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah. We switched off. Both of us had a chance to try out playing Murphy. I actually really enjoyed it because, let's be honest, I'm not great at platformers, but I did enjoy getting to help Dan through the levels as Rayman. When you're on the Wii U, you can actually change the environment with the gamepad. You can cut ropes to get things out of the way, tickle enemies to make it easier for Rayman to get rid of them. It was just a really neat game, and I definitely would recommend trying it out if you have a chance to try it when it comes out.
Mm-hmm. And then you stopped by the Remember Me panel, too. Right,
yes. Capcom had a whole panel dedicated to Remember Me, which is a game set in Neo Paris, sometime in the future. It was I think it was like 2084. That's right, they actually said the setting of 2084 was a direct reference to the book 1984. So it's this futuristic society where social media has sort of evolved to the point where you can record your memories as they're happening and then save them and send them to everyone. And in this world, you've got this one character who is your main character. Her name is Nilin, and she is trying to find out who erased her memories, and she actually has the ability to manipulate and remix the memories of others. Capcom didn't really give us a whole lot of new news on this. They showed us some gameplay footage that they definitely have shown at other cons before, so we're not really going to go into this right now, but we might post an article later with some more details, because they had a really neat panel with the senior producer and the lead artist. So it was definitely fun, and if we get a chance to do a write-up, we will.
Mm-hmm. So that about runs through what we did at the con today.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a full day, but it was all kind of spread out between some very large chunks of information.
Yeah. So tomorrow's the last day of the con, and we'll probably hit the plane before we get to do our recording. So look for information, the con wrap-up coming up sometime next week.
Yep. Meanwhile, have a good night.
Night.